Hey guys, what's up? It's Greg Srisavasdi with CinemAddicts. This is a hodgepodge segment. We have two interviews from, I was going to say Sir Eric Holmes, but from our buddy, your buddy, everyone's buddy, Eric Holmes. He has two interviews for this feed. The films are Frankie Maniac Woman and Omaha, two indie-driven films. First up, Frankie Maniac Woman, and he interviews Dina Silva and Pierre Tsigaridis. Pierre Tsigaridis directed the film. He co-wrote it with Dina Silva. In fact, this indie movie is so indie that pretty much there are other people who star in the movie. There are different cast members, crew members, I'm sure, but this is a pure indie film. The plot summary goes as such. Quote, battling against the legacy of childhood trauma, internalized misogyny, and the image-obsessed fat-shaming of the LA music business, aspiring singer-songwriter Frankie Ramirez finally snaps with bloody results. Definitely bloody, definitely horrific. Frankie Ramirez, played by Dina Silva, it's very interesting because the music, Frankie's an aspiring singer. I really like the music. I'm not reviewing it right now because I'll be reviewing it with Eric Holmes for the next episode of this week on CinemAddicts. But for this purposes, just listen to the interview for some insight on this movie. It's a very singular film. If you love blood and gore and horror, this is a pure horror film made with high budgetary constraints. And for what they did with whatever little money they had, they both did a great job. So Frankie Maniac Woman, great title, awesome film, in theaters April 24th. Of course, 2026, just to timestamp this whole thing. But really worth listening to this interview with Pierre and Dina as they talk a little bit about their horror film. Second interview is with Cole Webley. Cole Webley is a director behind this interesting intimate movie called Omaha. And the reason why I said interesting intimate movie is I'm thinking that's it. I have not seen Omaha yet. I will see it later today. Just I'm cramming. This is the day before Eric and I tape CinemAddicts, and Bruce sends over Cinematic over. He's also doing stuff in the attic as well every Thursday morning. But I have 24 hours to see Omaha. I have a lot of work to do, but I want to push aside work to see Omaha because, again, director Cole Webley, my bad. He made this movie because he loved the screenplay that was written by Robert Machoyan, and let me see if I'm completely wrong on this. I don't have my Omaha IMDb up right now. I'm sorry, guys. The movie, by the way, stars John Magaro. You've seen him in a ton of stuff, as well as, I'm assuming, newcomer child actress Molly Bell, right? Yes, Robert Machoyan. Robert Machoyan is the writer behind two films that we love here over at CinemAddicts, The Killing of Two Lovers, and also, what was the other one that he wrote that we loved? The Integrity of Joseph Chambers. The Integrity of Joseph Chambers was released in 2022, and The Killing of Two Lovers was back in 2020. Time really does fly. Both really awesome films. Looking forward to this movie, Omaha, because I don't know anything about Cole Webley's work. I think Omaha might be his feature directing debut, but I'm a fan of Robert Machoyan's screenplay, so I think this one will be completely worth it for me. As far as Cole Webley, he previously directed, yes, this is his first. He's been directing a bunch of shorts since 2011. I'm looking here. 2011 is Birdland. There's a 2014 short called After We Rest. Bunch of stuff. The last thing he did was a 2022 short called Dark Blue. Will be interesting to see. And he's also been a DP for different shorts. Also was a DP for the 2009 film Dragon Hunter. Oh, that's very interesting. I think I did see Dragon Hunter way back in the day. That's very interesting. Okay. Now, as far as Omaha, what is it about? All I can say is right now, it stars John Magaro. Quote, a young girl and her brother are awoken by their father, again, played by past lives actor John Magaro, and loaded into the car on an early morning in 2008. As they road trip across the American West, she discovers the truth about their seemingly spontaneous journey, a poignant coming-of-age drama that premiered at the Sundance Film Festival. I know one thing about Omaha. I forgot to mention when it comes out. We all know that Frankie Maniac Woman comes out April 24th. And yes, Omaha comes out in theaters. Well, it opens specifically in New York April 24th via Greenwich Entertainment, but there is a nationwide rollout next month. Okay, so if you are in the New York area, this might be a very interesting movie for you to watch because this movie is shot on location across Utah, Nebraska, and Wyoming. And it received strong reviews at Sundance. Let me see what the Rotten Tomatoes rating is for that right now. I'm going to dig it up. Omaha, Rotten Tomatoes. Not like it's the arbiter of the expert on accuracy, but 90% for Omaha, currently 52 reviews. And Frankie Maniac Woman, by the way, I'm not going to review that as well. We're going to do that on the show, but I really enjoy this movie. Hopefully some people get it. Oh, 13 reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, 100%. Okay? 100% for Frankie Maniac Woman, running at 95 minutes. That is hitting theaters April 24th. Both movies are really well reviewed. I'm assuming Omaha is not a slasher movie. It seems like a very, well, like the plot synopsis said, poignant film. Well, in fairness, with all the blood and killing in Frankie Maniac Woman, there is a level of resonance because a resonant type of styling to it, just buried deep, deep beneath all that blood and gore. Because just the whole woman, Frankie she has been through the ringer in her life. Frankie Ramirez, she's been bullied, she's been pushed to the edge. Obviously, nothing can condone for the killing of another human being, but within this guise of the narrative, Frankie Maniac Woman, she ends up being either tempted or under the spell of possibly a mysterious supernatural spirit that leads to her making the killing. Is that a supernatural spirit? Is it a figment of her imagination? Is that a scapegoat for her being a bloodthirsty killer? Again, that is Frankie Maniac Woman. I wish I could talk as much as I wish I could say more about Omaha because I still have not yet to see it. I'm sure it's going to be great. At the beginning of the interview, before it started, Eric mentioned to the director, Cole Webley, that how much he really enjoyed the film, and it's a very special movie for him to watch. All right, so without further ado, here are the two interviews. First up, Frankie Maniac Woman actress, co-writer Dina Silva, and she's also a singer in this, and director, co-writer, and he also stars in this. Pierre's that supernatural force or figment of Frankie's imagination. Basically, it's almost like they did this movie. They're very close friends in real life. They did this movie together with a couple of friends. That's what it feels like on the outside looking in. But as far as an immersive experience, it is a very singular, interesting narrative. I definitely recommend Frankie Maniac Woman. Again, yes, Frankie Maniac Woman, Dina Silva, Pierre Tsigaridis. That's the first interview. Second interview is with Omaha filmmaker Cole Webley. All right, here are Eric's interviews. Thank you guys so much for supporting us here over at CinemAddicts. After the interviews are done, I'm going to blab on about, for our Patreon members, what to expect from this month as far as our movie picks. All right, guys, thanks again. Bye.
Well, I'm here with Pierre Tsigaridis and Dina Silva. Dina Silva, writer, director, producer, star, production designer, editor of Frankie Maniac Woman. Yeah, this movie was a trip. This was freaking... I guess we'll start with first of all, my sister's named Frankie, and when she gets 3 beers in her, we don't call her Maniac Woman, but we call her Beef Barrels.
Let's go. Wait, Beef Barrels?
That's the name she gave herself, but
dude, I want to meet your sister, dude. Yes, Beef Barrels. That's sick.
But yeah, your energy comes off a lot like her when she gets 3 beers in her. So right away, I love this movie, and it just kept getting more and more insane as it went on. But what sparked this whole thing?
Well, I would say our friendship, Dina and
Yeah.
I've been friends for 10 years and we love horror films and we love the same kind of horror films and comedy. Dina is also like big on comedy. She's a comedian in addition to all the other things. And so quickly we wanted to make a slasher, like specifically a slasher. We love our boogeymen. We love our like big horror icons. So we wanted to do like our take on like slasher villains, but we wanted to add what we thought of ourselves, like, what is it that we can bring to the table? And obviously with comedy. And quickly then we came to develop, and then Dina can take over, like, what is it that we could expand and explore within this genre, and how much depth could we add to it? So then Dina went, I would say, deeper into personal themes, I would say.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's like when we're going to do the slasher, and he's like, what could we write about? What did she kill? This killer. And I was like, well, in my 20s, I was like, I don't know, she's killing these hot bitches, just these beautiful women who don't know how good they have it. But it's before I did my self-work, therapy and self-love. And so writing a character that does that. And then also I think we evolved it to have different meanings and to be multifaceted, and her realizing that women, no matter the shape or size, deal with eating disorders that are similar, body images that are similar, whether it's all you were judged for as being beautiful or all you were judged for as being fat. You know what I mean? They're very similar and complex issues that go hand in hand with women. So it ended up being just a whole commentary a little bit on that, as well as like having fun and slicing and dicing. So
yeah, it's strange watching this because on one hand, Frankie's a murderer. On the other hand, I'm like, I'm there with her. Like, I don't agree with her methods, but I get it. And then I don't want to give it away, but there's a specific choice Frankie makes at the end, and I'm like, okay, that's why. There's something inside of her that's not correct, but I kind of get it.
Yeah, of course. And that's the thing too. It's like there's multiple reasons why people snap or do things, and just happened to be the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah, we want to make this serial killer as human as possible, multifaceted as possible, because we think this is real. The idea was to package a serial killer that looks very, very like B-movie, like all the films we love, but also have actually kind of like a realistic psychology behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of like Frankie's the monster that society created, so deserves in a way, sort of.
Exactly.
Frankie is the killer that Instagram deserves.
That's great.
You know?
Yeah, society creates these killers or these monsters and then punishes them. So it's like just a vicious cycle of
Frankie is the victim. She kills and there's victims around her, but she's just a victim just as much of, how society puts her down and belittles her and bullies her.
And Pierre, I love Traumatica, and one of the things I loved about it was Traumatica did not waste any time at all. It's just bam, 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 like from the like cold open. Normally in movies, it's cool. We got our cold open, and now let's have 20 minutes boring before we get to the movie again. But you don't do that. It's just Traumatica's bam, bam, bam. And Frankie Maniac Woman, same thing. What was it about? Do you just sit there writing the script going, yeah, that's boring, we're cutting all that out, we're just adding in?
Yeah, it's I guess it's at this point it may be my style of filmmaking. I don't know. Frankie was a lot longer, and then we cut a lot of things. In fact, we premiered at Panic Fest. I was looking at it, I was like, I could have cut even more, even though some stuff, it's hard to always know what you need, what you don't need when you know the film so well. Then you have tunnel vision and you don't see anything anymore, so you have to be careful. But I will say I'm still like trying to build an audience, have people watch my films, and I don't want people to be bored when they watch it. I want them to dive into it. I don't have the luxury to have them sit around for 20 minutes, especially like when you're on a very low budget where you don't necessarily have all the locations you want, all the production value you want, et cetera, et cetera. And so if you linger and you don't have enough beautiful filmmaking to show people, you're just going to bore them to death. So I'm like, okay, we're going to go straight to the horror, straight to the narrative, interesting things, and we can't really waste any time. So it's intentional for sure, yeah.
Well, I absolutely appreciate it. It makes me love your movies. Frankie Maniac Woman is in theaters April 24th. Before I let you guys go, just want to get a film recommendation from each of you. I would love to talk to you for an hour about this, but we don't have so much time. But I do want to get a film recommendation from each of you. Just a movie that's either personal to you or a movie that one's really good and no one talks about it.
Is it a movie that does need to be a movie that's already released or a movie that's about to get released? Because we saw a really good one.
Oh, you're gonna say okay.
I mean, if you got one that hasn't been released yet, I'm down for the exclusive take. So go
All
for
right.
it.
I can tell you, we watched Obsession at Panic Fest. We had the opportunity to watch it. It's not out yet. And I'll tell you, this is so far my favorite film of 2026.
Oh yeah.
It's freaking good. It's incredible. And it's got a lot of things I like about horror films, which is there's humor, but there's also truly unsettling moments. There's some really violent moments. There's some scary moments. There's some hilarious moments. There's beautiful cinematography. There's a lot of humanity in it again as well. It deals with obsession. It's not like Frankie, but it deals with some of the similar, I would say, themes, which is you want to be liked by someone, you want to be loved, you need affection. What is it that you're going to do to achieve it, or what are the consequences of those desires, I would say, that are deeply human. So my rec would be Obsession right now because it's fucking good.
Hell yeah.
Well,
Dina, what's yours? I took yours.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, Obsession was great. If we're gonna go old here, I've said it before, but Serial Mom. I really love Serial Mom. John Waters, you can't go wrong. It's hilarious. The lines in that movie, Pussy Willow. I don't. Anyways, they're just I have such a fun time with that movie. But yeah,
would actually make it a great double feature for this. But yeah, guys, congratulations on the movie. Dina, need to see you in more stuff. You're great in this, and yeah, thanks for joining me.
Thank you so much,
sweetheart. Good to meet you, Eric.
I'm here with Cole Webley, director of Omaha. I'm from Omaha, so that's extra fun. And this is from the writer of on the podcast we love, Killing of Two Lovers and Integrity of Joseph Chambers. You knocked it out of the park here. I guess we'll start with the kids. Let's see, Molly Wright and Wyatt Solis. Kid actors are not easy to find, and you picked two amazing ones. Where'd you find them at?
I had my casting directors, they looked high and low, and they found these two kids that it's one of those moments where you see their tape and you're just like, well, that's the movie. That's the movie right there. And I think I had many experiences of that where I experienced it in the edit and the shooting of it. But one of the first times was when I cast that car. I found the car, and when I found Molly and Wyatt and what they bring to the movie, I couldn't have asked for more. Molly is basically a trained actress in terms of her ability and how she approaches it. And Wyatt is a little more like a wild animal that we corralled into our story. And he brought this brilliance and vulnerability and rawness to him that was both challenging and amazing. And I love him for it. And I feel like he is like, the movie doesn't work with any of them being obviously not as strong, but truly he is the tone that helps the movie fall off the cliff either way. And I'm stoked that he was in it, man. We found him.
Yeah. What brought the movie to you? Like what got all this going?
Well,
I believe this is your feature directorial debut.
Yeah, man. You say that you're a fan of Robert. I was a fan of Robert too. And when I saw it, Killing of Two Lovers, I just wanted to work with him. I wanted to find something to collaborate on. So we were writing a script together, and I just bothered him about, hey, is there anything else that you've written that I haven't read? And he passed me this script, and we just stopped everything on the other rewrite, and we optioned this script from him, and we went full throttle into trying to make this one. So I was smitten by the read itself and the simplicity of this family getting in a car and going to a destination and having that be the movie. And I was mesmerized as well by the statistic, the reality that this happened. I didn't know about it. I knew what the safe haven law was, but I had no idea that this had occurred in Nebraska. And also, like Robert, I was like, who are these parents? Where are they at? What happened? How? And I wanted to see, and so his script kind of like opened that whole doorway into the psychology and kind of depths of a parent walking through the 3 worst days of their life, deciding to do this. And And I thought it did it with such grace and such beauty and such simplicity that I was like, if we could pull this off, this is going to be a hell of a movie and a hell of a story, a powerful story that a lot of people are going to resonate with, myself included. So yeah, man, I read it and it was like, oh, this is it. This is the one. Let's get this going. How do we make this happen? And the rest
What
is
was
history.
what was the shoot on this like? Because I currently live in Colorado Springs, and I grew up in Omaha, so I've made that trip many times where they go. So I don't fully recognize all the gas stations, but a lot of them in the movie seem familiar to me. And I always thought, like, doing the trip, like, oh, we should make a movie here. And then you guys did it. You just started at one point and just make a road trip.
We did. So many of our many heavy location lifting was in the Salt Lake area. But all those gas stations, everywhere they stopped, that was along the path that they would have drove from, say, Nebraska to Nevada to Nebraska. And that was just me and Paul and Robert going on a road trip and saying, okay, this is the pathway. Let's look at these gas stations and let's look at these ice cream and burger shops and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, man, we took the journey from Salt Lake area. We started in this little town called Helper, Utah. That's where the house is at. That's a cover city for a small town in Nevada, where their story really begins. And then they go through the Salt Flats. They went through a town called Tooele, Utah. We have them all the way through this area. We come back here for some cover sets for Omaha in terms of the hospital, the donut shop, the grocery store, those kind of things. We base those in Salt Lake. But the real journey took all the way to Omaha, where we ended up, the shoot ended there, like the last 4 days of the shoot, where like that image you have behind you is like a very prominent building, as you well know, of Omaha in the background.
Yeah. And then you guys, I don't think this is spoiler. I mean, if you go to Omaha, this is obviously going to be a thing, but Henry Dorley Zoo's shown in there. And did you guys have any trouble shooting there, or did you have to get certain licenses, or do you just go in there with a camera and shoot and hope?
We had so much trouble shooting there, Eric, that's not their zoo. We tried so hard to shoot at that zoo. We scouted, we planned, we prepped, but we ultimately came up against shooting in October, and they were just unwilling to have us there because of their Halloween stuff. So we went all the way up to the governor's office trying to get permission, and it just didn't work out. So that zoo is actually in Salt Lake City. That's called the Hulbert Zoo.
Okay, see. Oh wow, you guys did a really great job, because the one part actually looks like bits of the lead jungles. Damn.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. We went and we were inspired by those, and we tried our best to match it without it being a gross misrepresentation of a zoo in Omaha, not necessarily that zoo, though we know that's a world famous zoo. And well, it's funny, you and I know that, but most of America doesn't know that. But it is an incredible zoo. It's like that and San Diego Zoo are probably the two best zoos in America.
Yeah. Did you have any other challenges shooting this? Because, I mean, overall, other than that, it seems like everything was pretty cut and dried.
Yeah, I mean, the road stuff was tough. We ran into some weather a few days. We were doing process trailer, where you put the car up on the trailer and shoot. But, you know, generally we were really, really lucky. We had to do everything fast. I love to say we shot the movie in 18 days. We didn't. We shot it in 27 days. But if you add up the kids' hours when they were on set, if they were an adult, the movie was shot in 18 days. We just didn't have them that long every day. And they're in most of the script. So it's not like we were off shooting stuff with John. So challenge was our timing and our shoot days. But otherwise, that's why I wanted to make it on my turf, on my terms, in this Utah and Wyoming stretch, because we knew these locations. We knew people would want us to be there. We weren't in a zone that had been shot so much that they want an arm and a leg for a gas station. We just had great people along the way who were excited to have us.
Excellent. Well, I'm kind of running out of time here, but before I let you go, what's the release schedule on this? And then also, you got Sandy Banks coming out, and what can you tell us about that?
Yeah, you've done your research. I'll tell you, I'll start with Sandy Banks. Sandy Banks is a movie that I produced, not directed, which was a new journey for me and something that I was really excited to do. I always wanted to produce a filmmaker's work with them. Young director we found out of Ireland. It's a rural Irish noir revenge thriller about a man whose sister has been missing for years and presumed dead. And in the first couple minutes, they find her body, and it reignites the investigation to figure out who killed her. So it's a really great, tight, taut Irish thriller, and we loved the script. It came to us while I was on the festival circuit, found it, and we just decided to get this film made with this young filmmaker. He's traveling tomorrow to Austin to start cutting the movie. Omaha comes out starting April 24th, 23rd, really, Thursday night in New York, and then opens more nationwide on May 8th. Eric, where are you at now? Colorado Springs?
Yeah.
Got it. Every day we're adding more and more screenings, and the film's kind of beginning to make its way east. And I'm just going to pull up and see, do I have a Colorado? I'm not sure we're in Colorado yet, but I bet we get there, meaning our bookings. So it'll be in theater for the traditional kind of 45-day window, and then it'll be out for rent.
Excellent. Well, yeah, thanks for joining me. Congratulations on the movie. This movie absolutely ripped my heart out in all the best ways. And yeah, congratulations. Wish you all the success.
Eric, you're a good man. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for coming on, buddy. Thanks for saying what you've said about the film. Means a lot.
Right. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Hello, Patreon patrons. Just wanted to add that there's a couple of movies that we are doing this week I'm going to tell what we're doing this week as far as movie reviews, but also for patrons of our Patreon, the 3 movies we are covering for our year of 1980 for our bonus episode this month being April 2026. We're covering the 1980 films Used Cars, Gloria, and Out of the Blue. Again, that is Used Cars, Gloria, and Out of the Blue. So that should be very interesting. That's going to be released towards the end of the month. Thank you, Patreon patrons for supporting us here over at CinemAddicts. Also, for this week on CinemAddicts, me, Eric, and Bruce will be covering the movies Omaha, Frankie Maniac Woman, Fuse. It's an action thriller starring Aaron Taylor Johnson and Theo James, by the way. I saw that as well. And actually, I saw Frankie Maniac Woman, I saw Fuse, I still have to see Omaha. And then Bruce is not doing any of the 3 featured films this week. He has, quote, a detour week. He is possibly reviewing 28 weeks later, The Bone Temple, and 28 weeks later, The Bone Temple, Undertone, Dust Bunny, and Shelby Oaks. We'll see if he does any in-depth reviews of any of them. They might be just very quick, very quick reviews for these 4 movies. All right, guys, thanks again for supporting us over at CinemAddicts, and we will see you later this week. And you can hear us later this week with our reviews. Take care. Bye.